Thanks for stopping by today. This video will go over the basics of the new Brokerage LTL system. So let's start with going to Brokerage Dispatch, which I already have open. I'm going to choose a couple of loads that I want to mark as partials. Partials are signified by a check mark here, so you can easily see and group your LTL stuff together and keep track of it. So I'm going to go over here to 5029, we'll use that, so we'll mark it as a partial, and we'll go on over to the next one, 5030, and we'll mark it as a partial, and good enough. And then we'll come back to the load board and we'll see that those both have the check marks in them, so on and so forth. Go to the planning tab and your LTL planning button's in the upper left. This stuff is beta and will move. It'll be in a more handy place in the near future, but we don't want everybody messing with this just yet, so it's in an inconspicuous place. LTL planning opens it up. There are your available partials at the top that you can use to make an LTL trip. We've already got a trip here with, well, let's double click that trip. It's got a load on it. I'm going to remove that load. Load's gone. Now I have a trip, number 19, with no loads on it. A trip's like a pro. It's a load number that encompasses all the LTL partials on that trip. So we have 0 partials. Now I could also delete this trip and it's gone. I could add a new trip, number 20. We'll drag down 29 and drop it, 1 partial. We'll bring down 30 also and drop it. We have 2 partials. This information will get filled out as you add the information onto the trip. Double click or edit trip, either one, to open up the trip. We have 2 pros. Each load has 2 stops, a pick and a drop. First thing you usually always want to do is reorder these. I got 2 1s and 2 2s, and that's the way it came off the load, but we want it to look like this: 1 2 3 4. I can take that pick, highlight it, and move it up in any position I want in the pickups, and the same with the drops. And maybe we'll want to go to Des Plaines before Chicago. Once again, you can do grouping and sorting here to get your stuff lined out so you have it on the truck in the right order. Your gross pay is summarized for you here. Let me go full screen on this as well. You can put a carrier on it, and we'll use Wonder Trucking, and if it gets there on time, it's a wonder. Same thing as a regular load. You have the ability to do special, commodity, and build up your LTL trip. Carrier pay, now this is probably going to change. We have some issues on the carrier pay in the billing part where we have to have these partials showing the carrier pay for the trip, and there'll be more news to come on that later. But for now, you can just put the carrier pay in as one figure here, and we'll pay him $1,800 just out of the blue there. And there's your numbers. You have a place to print a load sheet and a rate confirmation, or email them, same as the other regular trips. So this is our, remember, we got 4 drops. We got a 2-page Brokerage LTL load sheet, internal load sheet that shows what's going on. And pardon the fact that I have very little data on my stops. I am bad about that. Here's the rate confirmation for the same trip, same as a regular rate confirmation. Of course, you're going to run into multi-pages with all these stops, and you can print or email these just like you can in the other print screen. So you have the ability to drag these trips or partials onto the trip, go into the screen and reorder your stop, do your carrier pay, get your rate confirmation, etc. Also, we do have it where you can route the LTL trip here, go from Champaign, then make a loop and end up empty here. So we got that going on, and really that's about all there is to this at this point. Now, once again, managing this, and this there again, full screen, minimize, however you want to do this. When you go back, and you're going to have your list of trips here, and there again, you double click it to edit it, and you can remove any selected pro from a LTL trip, no problem. I can remove 30 come right back here and oops, made a mistake, put it right back on. No damage done, fully flexible. Do need to probably reorder. Remember those, stop reordering. You want to get those right. And that's really all there is to it. Now, bearing in mind, I had the wrong screen maximized there. When I go to the load board, another, like I said, big thing here on being able to group and sort your partials. You can see these two trips, 5029 and 5030 at partial, are actually on trip number 20. Um, you can do things like this, like my trip 20 has which partials, well, it's these two. It's all kinds of way to use these sorting and grouping these columns up here. Um, I also want to shout out here a minute on this full text search. Anything on any columns, on anything you see here can be done by just typing the first few letters of something, and anything, and it highlights it. So I typed SP, so everything with SP in it, which I was going for Springfield, actually gets highlighted like that, and it makes it super easy to find anything instantly. Alrighty, we're going to get out of here. This is beta. If you need to use it, give us a call or email and ask for it, and Brandon will get you handled. Thanks for stopping by.